he seemed upset that you said he looked bad against Marab, but I don't know, man. Like, what's going on there? Because obviously this has been brewing for a while.
I would love to f him up. You know, that's one fight. Like, he just always talks shit. Like, I think he has an infatuation with me. He's so jealous of me, and you know, I can't believe he became a world champion. Like, he can't wrestle for a lick. He can defend a takedown. I mean, Rob straight bullied him, but he's been calling me out forever. So I've been ready to fight that dude. Like, I got what it takes and know how to beat this dude the way that I fight. It'll be a bad night for him, but you know, that's up to the UFC. I've tagged Dana, I tagged him in it. Like, that's the next fight they want to do. Like, I think that's going to be a great pay-per-view fight, good drawing. You know, he's got a lot of good fan base, but they're younger. You know, the Twitch people, the video games. You know, but you know, I'm a dog, so I would love that fight. But he opens his mouth, and you know, you see it, man. He's been embarrassed a couple of times. You know, like, I always, you know, if something happens to me, I go out and put on a fight, go out in my shield, but I'll never get dog walk like that ever.
All right, let us say hello to the former UFC bantamweight champion, Cody Garbrandt. A lot happening for No Love these days, including an incredible partnership with Indian Motorcycles celebrating the release of the 2025 Forge series. And it's great to chat with Cody Garbrandt for the first time in actually over 9 years. Cody, how are you, my man?
Wow.
That long.
Wow, what a throwback. Yeah. Good old MMA Fighting. I mean, you guys do an amazing job to showcase a lot of fighters and stories. So it's happy to be back on.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. A lot to discuss with you. But first, let's talk about the partnership with Indian Motorcycle. You've been an avid motorcycle enthusiast for quite some time. It's become a part of you in so many different ways. When did you first get into the motorcycle riding world? What led you to it?
As a kid, you know, my uncles all had Harleys and motorcycles and dirt bikes, and we rode as well. And when my father was out of prison, he always rode too. And my uncle Mike always switched the throttle to the left side for him. He actually got his arm blew off when he was a kid. So he'd always be riding with one arm, wheeling the bikes. And we just thought that was pretty impressive and wild to see, you know. So we were always into the scene, riding. And that's kind of how I would see the love started for, you know, the two wheels.
You obviously became a UFC fighter, and the motorcycle thing just kind of went with you. Why to you is this partnership with Indian Motorcycle such a special thing?
That's a very special partnership with Indian. You know, got to be good friends with Carey Hart, and you know, he told me about the Ford series and what he's doing in Indian. Like I said, always been a fan of two wheels, huge fan of Carey Hart. You know, growing up watching him just be leaps and bounds above his competition, what he was able to do early on. So to be able to, you know, connect with him and connect with Indian in the Ford series has been great. Like, they've been awesome. Anytime I need a bike or want to have a bike, they ship one out to me. I get to ride it, put some miles down on it. So it's good, you know, therapy for me.
So the Forge series has this incredible Forge custom build program, which is part of this partnership. And I don't know if you've got it already, but at least you're getting yourself a custom made 2025 Indian Chieftain Power Plus. And you said Indian has been sending you bikes and you get to put some miles on it, but what's your reaction to getting this news? And what did this mean to you? You're just one of 3 people selected for this opportunity.
Yeah, it was a huge opportunity. Super thankful and very grateful for, you know, India and the Ford series, and then getting paired up with the Kraus, you know, Sasha and the team. I've been amazing. I use a lot of their parts on my other bikes as well. So to be able to be paired with them, knowing that this machine that they're going to build, or that they did build, was going to be able to test my limits and riding in all conditions, canyons, and you know how I like to ride. So they really build a amazing performance bagger with a Chieftain and the Power Plus. I mean, it is. I have it here. I've been riding it. I just got back from Ohio. I was, you know, out there seeing the family for about 10 days, and I was super excited to come back and ride. So as soon as I landed, got geared up and jumped on the bike and was just able to, you know, lay some miles down that night. Fortunately, it was 110 degrees, but I still enjoyed it. Yeah, so I enjoy riding so much. You know, train, eat, ride.
What was your role, I guess, in the build itself? Did you guys like collab? Like, how did that work?
No, and I'm super grateful and thankful that I didn't, because I mean, Kraus and Sasha, they're the best in the world with aftermarket parts and what they build, the machines that they build there in Utah at his compound. So I was blown away when I first saw it, how it started up. Went over all the specs and what he did, and what his team did. Like, they really did an amazing job on this bike. I can't wait to showcase it. I've been, having B-roll for so long. I think I'm able to release it on the 22nd, but I'm definitely enjoying it, riding it. We're gonna go out tonight to a little saloon we go to, have some dinner, and be able to ride it. So it's so much fun. Like, it's powerful, it's quick, it's reliable. Like I said, just super stoked to be a part of the Forge series, but also working with Indian and having Sasha build just the performance baggers.
I assume that you had high expectations when you got the info you were going to be a part of this. I assume the reveal over exceeded expectations.
Oh yeah, it's got a lot of parts on the bike that aren't even out yet to the public. They'll probably be dropping. I spoke to Sasha, will be after Sturgis, so I got a lot of their parts on that it's unreleased or just prototypes, and they're awesome. I'm like, I need all these parts for my other bikes. Like, I'm just super excited to have them on. It feels so good, so comfortable. The power on these V twins are just undeniable. I mean, Indian's doing an amazing job to really jump ahead of the other companies in the motorcycle industry. I feel they are really making strides and gains. The whole team just, yeah, making the switch too.
Well, congratulations on that. And when you're not cruising the streets in your custom Indian motorcycle, you are, of course, like you said, a mixed martial artist. You are UFC bantamweight, train, ride, repeat. When we last saw you, it was at UFC Atlanta. Tough fight against Raoni Barcelos. Unfortunately, did not go your way. Biggest takeaways from that fight?
Oh man, I was just super happy to be in there, get to the fight healthy. I've had a lot of health things going on in the past, so I've been dealing with vertigo for almost 2 years nonstop on up, and doesn't really know what sets it off. So to be able to go through camp, have the 5 weeks of training when I got the fight, it was kind of like a testing period every day. Like, all right, I can go spar. Okay, I don't have vertigo. Oh, I can go grapple. I have vertigo. I can do X, Y, and Z to get myself ready for the fight. So I got through the camp, and that was all right. Fight week. It was the cutting the weight, it was the reload, it was getting inside the octagon, take a shot, and getting those scrambles and, do that. So it was a lot of unknowing going inside the octagon, the whole camp. So it was kind of like checkbox, 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 and getting through there. I think the time off was a lot, but like what I take away from the fight, even though I thought it was a very close fight, I thought I did enough to get the win. Um, it'll be better for my next camp. So I'm able to push a little bit more in certain areas that I was kind of reserved on that would usually set me off with having vertigo. I've gotten a lot of, professional help with that, with doctors, with, you know, um, NPA, UPMC, Dr. Collins, specialists, the UFC doctors, all their PTs here. So I really, man, took a lot of time to get healthy so I can come back and perform and get in there. I truly love it. And that's another thing. Like, I was happy to be in there. Obviously it sucks I didn't get the win, but you can't leave in the judges' hands for that. But just take the good from it and move on to the next.
Yeah, and I guess with everything you've gone through, that's, even though if you go to Wikipedia or Tapology, it's not a green mark, but to you, having gone through everything that you've gone through and going through the camp and checking off all those proverbial boxes, like you said, it's got to feel like a win in a lot of different ways, does it not?
It was as a win in so many ways. Yeah, like you said, and I previously stated, not knowing if I was going to lay down at night and vertigo was coming on, like that was constantly happening. Like, I couldn't even sit and like turn fast and be in lights, and I even bend down, touch my toes. Like, even during the warm ups, like it was setting vertigo off to where I was physically vomiting. So I didn't even know where I was at until it subsided about 45 minutes, and then 3-4 days I'm just feeling out of it and just kind of in a fog. So it was very challenging. The last almost 2 years of dealing with this. It happened in the Davison fight. I got taken down in the second round. I felt great in the first, won the first round. Was here's my game plan. I'm gonna take him in deep waters, and then got taken down. And once I got taken down, I was laying, and I think it's more so in positional that I get the vertigo. I was laying down, I just started spinning. I didn't even know where I was at, and I was trying to fire up the chokes and submission attempts from him, but it was just my body wasn't keeping up with it. I didn't know where I was at, so ultimately ended up losing that. That was a fight that I was looking forward to for so many years. It was taken away from me during COVID when I was supposed to go fight him at the flyweight for the world championship. So there's a lot of obstacles to overcome, but like I'm still here. I'm still enjoy it, and I'm just itching away, making sure the health is most important because once I leave this career, they have the rest of my life to live, and children and stuff like that. So I really was able to take care of myself, put myself first. And in the past, I didn't. I was a champion. I had to defend my belt. I was hurt, injured 10 days before the fight. I couldn't even walk. They flew me out to Vegas, gave me like 8 epidural shots just to numb my back up so I can go fight TJ. And I promised myself that I wouldn't fight, compromised like that, seriously compromised. And I had to pull out the Milo Jones fight. That's the fight that I was looking forward to as well. So, but I made that promise to myself, that's not worth it. And, put my health first is just a huge priority, being a father and family that I have to, look out for.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because you've had just this incredible storybook career. Like you made it to the top of the mound. You had such a fast rise, and you have this memorable performance against Dominic Cruz. And since then, there's some downs and some ups, and there's the health issues and everything that you've had to deal with. How much have you learned about yourself through all of this? Because this sport is not easy as it is. There's just so many swings every single day. Like every single practice is different. You feel great. Next day you feel like crap. And then you're dealing with all this other stuff. Like, how have you been able to, I guess, navigate all of this since the Dominic Cruz fight to now?
Really just unbreakable, resilient. I would say, that's what I've always been in every, stage of my life, never too high off a win, never too low off a loss. Just keep balance, keep, paying those dues daily, go in there and, chop wood and carry water. It's kind of what I like to say and think about what I've gone through. Like I said, I was a world champion at 25, under 2 years in the UFC. And, a lot of people in their career don't ever get to the top 15, the top 10, have, decade in the UFC fighting the top guys in the world. Like people seem to forget, we were fighting the best guys in the world, no matter what their ranking is, what their record is. They're in the UFC. That's a big lights. It's a big show. They're showing up, I was able to do that, become a world champion at 25. And a lot of fighters, struggle to stay on the roster. I did that early on. So maybe this is my chapter where it's a lot of struggles, but I'm still here. I'm still in the UFC. I'm still, showing up, helping coaching, teaching the younger, fighters about, health and recovery and things that I had to go through that I really didn't know. We just, it was kind of old school. We just, fought injured and went through that. So if I can help pave the way for them to be more smart with their career and the decisions that they make, then at the end of the day, I'll be happy and be, with my head held high once I walk away from the sport. But I have so much fire left inside me for wherever I'm at, whether it's, the UFC, whether it's a different organization. But, I love the UFC. They've been great with me. I love going out there and entertaining the fans. Like I'll always be an entertainer, always go out there and put on a show, win, lose or draw. That's something that I always want to be remembered for. So I just feel like this is a growing period for me in my life, where I'm at, but super thankful every day I get to wake up and chase this dream.
You did get a new contract you revealed before your last fight. Yeah. So congratulations on that. Thank you. Seem very happy nonetheless, which is the most important thing. When you think about what's next for you, and again, it's not easy because you're dealing with the vertigo and it's like one step at a time, right? Do you want to get back in there like as soon as possible, or do you need to take some time? Like, what's the process now?
Yeah, I was back to training, the next week. For me, my style of fighting is being active. You saw that in 2016. I had 4 fights, unranked, world champion the same year. So being active for me is the style that I fight is more, is better for me to do that. When you sit idle and you don't fight. Inactivity will kill a fighter, will kill a career. But like I said, like it was out of my control. Like I wanted to fight. I was working hard to get back into the training. I was training, but kept having these setbacks with vertigo, and we didn't know what was going on. I went to a couple specialists and doctors, the best of the best, and we finally figured, got to where we were at a baseline that was good for me to resume sparring. And we're really, I got cleared like literally, I don't know, a couple of weeks before the fight. The doctor was, all right, cool. Like, I think you're good. I'm really happy with the results that we're having and the baseline test and things that you have to go through on the neurological side. I got MRIs, I got MRAs, I got everything checked out. The brain health was good at the Cleveland Clinic. So that's another thing too. Like I'm having this, I'm like, man, what's going on with me? Like this is, we go every day and get punched and kicked and trained to the, to our bodies want to break. But, to have that just peace of mind, everything's good, solid in there. And, I feel great in training. I feel good, it's just, I think just being inactive was something that probably halted, a lot of that in that last fight with Hani. But, he's a tough dude. That guy's been in the game for a while. He's a tough Brazilian that, keeps coming forward. And, like I said, I thought I had the win, but can't cry over spilled milk. Just get ready for the next one. Take a lot of the positive things that I went through that a lot of fans don't know what it was like to even get back in there. So I'm just super excited to, keep chasing the dream. That's it, man. Like every day I chase a dream no matter what. Like sometimes doesn't fall in your favor, but you just gotta, dust yourself back up. I've been, down this road so many times with a lot less than what I have, and resources and things like that. At the end of the day, nothing changes for me. I got family that loves me. I got fans that will stand beside me. And, that's a good feeling, but to be healthy is probably one of the best things. I think a lot of us take that for granted, not even being fighters. When something happens, someone's health, it's really puts them in perspective like, oh, wow, I got to do X, Y, and Z so this doesn't happen again. So for me, it's just being healthy, enjoying life, and chasing the dream.
You did get the attention of Sean O'Malley during your media day scrum because he obviously had some things to say about you in a recent interview, essentially accusing you of like ripping off his look, saying he felt embarrassed after seeing your hair braided and the face tattoos. And he seemed upset that you said he looked bad against Merab, but I don't know, man. Like, what's going on there? Because obviously,
I would love to fuck him up. That's one fight. Like, he just always talks shit. Like, I think he has an infatuation with me. He's so jealous of me, and I can't believe he became a world champion. Like, he can't wrestle for a lick. He can defend a takedown. I mean, Rob straight bullied him, but he's been calling me out forever. So I've been ready to fight that dude. Like, I got what it takes and know how to beat this dude. The way that I fight, it'll be a bad night for him. But that's up to the UFC. I've tagged Dana, I tagged him in it. Like, that's the next fight they want to do. Like, I think that's going to be a great pay-per-view fight. Good drawing. He's got a lot of good fan base, but the younger, the Twitch people, the video games, but I'm a dog, so I would love that fight. But he opens his mouth and you see it, man. He's been embarrassed a couple of times, like I always, if something happens to me, I go out and put on a fight, go out in my shield, but I'll never get dog walk like that ever.
Yeah. And honestly, like that fight makes a lot of sense right now. Two former champions, like looking to get back on track. Like it's not like out of the realm of possibility, right? Like, has there even been any discussion about it? Cause I think it makes perfect sense to do it.
Yeah. He's doing all this. When you lose, you try to redesign, reinvent yourself. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit doing X, Y, and Z. Like, you looked worse in the first fight. So you maybe need to go back to smoking or do whatever you need to do, And I was there before, I had everyone in my ear, oh, you got to do this and this and this, train hard. It's not that, it's I would say confidence. He's not the, undefeated fighter he always said he was. Has a lot of holes in his game. His wrestling. I mean, and taking nothing away from Rob. Rob's an amazing fighter. He's got a good gas tank, great wrestler, good pressure, and styles make fights. So that's the end of the day. Like, my style would be a bad matchup for him. And, if that's something that the UFC wants to build and make off of, I think it would be a great draw. former champions. He's on a 2-fight skid, so we'll see. I'm excited. Hopefully, get back in there in October. I heard there's a pay-per-view card here in Vegas. So I'm looking forward to like an October return. Got a little stuff going on with my business that I'm doing. And, I'm always in the gym training. So taking some time and just, get back in the camp. For me, it's always, it's a lifestyle for me.
You talked about the importance of giving back to the sport, right? And, Sean's of a sort of a different generation than the one that you came up in. He started a few years after you did. But let's just say like cooler heads prevail and he called you and was like, look, man, sorry I said all that crap about you, but I'm in a tough spot right now and you've gone through some really difficult things. What advice would you give Sean to kind of get off the schneid, I guess?
I wouldn't give him any advice. Fuck that dude. For real. Anyone else calls me, I'll help him out, but I'm cool on that, dude.
Fair enough. A couple last things. Congratulations, by the way, I believe on, I think it was 3+ years of sobriety that I saw. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do at all. So one of the things that I didn't really get from the media day when you were talking about this, because I thought it was incredible insight from you, is what sort of led you to that decision to say, you know what, I'm done with this, no more. I need to stop doing this. Like, was there a moment for you where you're like, all right, I'm done, no more, and then you haven't looked back?
I think there was a lot of, reasons why I decided to, stop drinking, stop, doing that stuff. Was I'm a father, I was a single father at the time. Luckily, I have an amazing girlfriend now, but single father, and I moved to Vegas. I didn't want to be out, chasing women and be in the clubs. And, I never wanted to take any time away from my son or anything like that. So I put him as a main focus, to always be there for him. He'll never see me in a state of, that's not me. I have a lot of family members that are addicts, so I always had like bad examples of that, to where I didn't want to be that. My mom worked so hard at, giving us the best life that we could, the start that we could have with her. I never want to let her down either. I just don't want to go down the wrong path. I see a lot of fighters that come out into Vegas and, they're here and it's, it's such a fast city, nightlife, missing practices and getting caught up in the drugs and alcohol. And luckily I've had a lot of, people around my life that did that. And I saw what it did. It destroyed their life. So if I could give up one thing to have everything, it made perfect sense for me.
What means more to you personally? That accomplishment of just turning that corner and being the best dad you can be and being sober for all this time and just maintaining that for all this time, or winning the UFC Bantamweight title?
Honestly, the best title that I ever have or hold to this day is being a father. Like that gives me joy every day I wake up. Like I got a little kid that's half of me that loves me so much. That looks up to me for guidance and, good decision makings for myself, but also him to set his future up. He's able to have a little bit more different lifestyle than I did growing up. And I'm forever grateful for the hard work and the dedication that took me to get here. And I always, give him lessons on, hey, like just because we're able to grab this and have this, like we got to be thankful, we got to be understanding and filled with gratitude every day that, there's some kids in the world that don't ever get to go to the movies or do little things like that. Don't take anything for granted, my mom fosters 2 children that are 5, just turned 6 and 9. And, I tell them about them all the time. I tell my son about them all the time. Like, luckily my mom has them and get to do more stuff than other kids do. Like you can never take that for granted, So, man, just being a father is the best title I've held. Like it can't compare to the UFC title. Like, when I won the title, it was like, this is it. Like, it was like, got it. I was like, wow, like I was so fixated on it for years and years and years. And it got me through a lot of dark times. Like that light at the end of the tunnel was being a world champion, but it wasn't this end all kind of, oh, this is awesome. It was great. It was an accomplishment, but it was on the bigger and better things for me. And I got injured and had setbacks and had to work through rehab and was a whole year out from, serious back injury. And then to go to defend the title. It was tough. It was tough, so And that was tough. And the losing, have a 3-fight losing streak, and then, knocking out a Sunset on, fighting for the title again, and getting COVID and getting the title taken away from me because I wasn't able to fight. So, my life's been a lot of ups and downs, but like I said, like, resilient and never giving up. That's one thing, and I will never do in this life, never do in the octagon. But being a father trumps everything.
Couldn't agree more. My kid is 12 now. It's absolutely mind-boggling. He's like, mine. It's so crazy.
Yeah, my son just turned 7 in March, and then I just found out last week I'm having a baby girl. So
congrats, man.
Yeah, we just found out. So yeah, gonna name her Harley Rose. So you guys heard it here first. I'm super excited. I'm gonna be a girl dad, so I'm like, I gotta, I was very excited for that. But get Kai's sibling. He's been asking every day for years. Hey, a sibling. So yeah, we're super excited to bring in this little girl into this world and just love her and cherish her and restart it all. Like, it's great.
Last thing before I let you go, for those who are watching this thinking to themselves, I want to get my first motorcycle. There's lots of options out there. Why Indian over the rest? Get them off the fence, Cody. Why should they choose Indian?
Look, I'll be honest with you. I've always been Harley, and never really got on an Indian until I started working with the Indian. And I'm blown away by those machines. It's their raw power. It's kind of hard to tell, or if someone's a Harley guy, to try to convert them because they're like, they're just so Harley, because it's been, years and years and years of them. But what they're doing in Indian is just remarkable. Those bikes are just amazing machines. I honestly, like, if I didn't have all these Harleys, I would sell them all and, buy Indians, for them. But even my friends, I'm telling them, like, I let them ride some of them. They're like, wow, it's crazy. This ground spike that he just built is unbelievable. And my guy has been in clubs for years and been riding for years, and he rode it actually yesterday, and he was like, holy shit, that thing is a machine. He's like, it's wicked. Like, they're just doing some amazing stuff, and I think that they're gonna, take over in the next, soon future, I would say. So I'm all for Indian. I think a lot of the aftermarket stuff's coming out too. Like, I think that's something that Harley that did really good with, was the aftermarket, for them. But Indians is right there. I mean, they're getting up there. I'm very excited for them and happy to be with them.
Cody says, get on board now before it's too late. But I appreciate your time as always, man. Congratulations on the partnership. Congratulations on becoming a dad again very soon. Yeah. And
back in the diapers.
Back on the diapers, and can't wait to see the full reveal of the bike, and looking forward to the next time we can see you back in the octagon, man.
Likewise, Mike. Thanks so much. I always appreciate it.